David Phantom subscribed at Tier 1. They've subscribed for 53 months, currently on a 53-month streak, and says 53
Hello.
months.
Okay, so I was just going through trying to find more double density media so that we can actually try and make some progress here. So hello everyone. This is my Sony SMC-70G here, and today we're going to try and write some floppy disks for it and modifying the contents by using CPM tools. So we're going to look at how we can do that. It's going to be a little weird and we're going to have some issues, but we'll see what happens. We're going to have to write at least one disk format, I think, to try and get WordStar running on this, but we'll see how it goes. So yes, this is a machine that is held together with skewers. David, thank you for the Tier 1 sub there, and for 53 months. That's some combination of fingers. 48, 53. 53 months there. I appreciate that. I didn't hear that, so I think I know what happened. I think the Bluetooth transmitter is not on. Let me turn that on, and then probably turn on the headphones again, since they probably gave up and turned off while I wasn't paying attention. On
Bluetooth subscribed at Tier 1. They've subscribed for 55 months. And says another there combination of finger get end of line.
There we go. Ah, Portizo, making life hard. Okay, it was a 48, okay, and then 46, so 55, I know number. Thank you so much, Portizo, for the Tier 1 sub for 55 months. I appreciate that. So WordStar as a setup program, you select a terminal type. Yes. And it does actually support the IBM 3101. Is that what it is? I don't remember. So, after stream last weekend, I went and I looked at, as much documentation as we had available for this machine. There's not a lot. And it looks like this emulates an IBM 3101, if I remember correctly. So we're going to have to find software that works with that, because Zero Ohms here had put a couple of games on a disk for us, which I believe are on this floppy still, but none of the terminal types on it were compatible.
Tier 1. They've subscribed for 54 months, currently on a 54-month streak, and says I still need to install DESQVIEW/XI. End of line.
Hiram, thank you for the Tier 1 sub and for 54 months there. I appreciate that. Looks interesting. Can't wait to see a video on it. I have not figured out how the video is going to work yet. I regret having worked on this for over a year. That was a mistake. Also, I mentioned that we were going to work on the Deck Writer 2 today, so I had quite a morning. I had a dead battery. I had to get that replaced, which was less trivial than I anticipated. So that ate up all the time I was going to have to be able to set up for the Deck Writer 2 today. So hopefully we'll get to that tomorrow, and we'll just have 4 hours for that, I guess. Yeah. So What's the Laserdisc on the wall? There is no Laserdisc on the wall. That's a CED. And that was covered in the CED video. The long story short, it's destroyed, and it doesn't matter. Okay. Let's make sure that the SMC-70 still works. That way, you know, we have a reason to mess with it. Beep, beep, beep. That thing, it does thing. Okay, that's an SMC-70, all nice and zoomed in for a thumbnail. You guys, let's see. Will the most annoying software in the world cooperate? Let's find out. Drum roll. No! Why would the UVC video IDs match? That would make sense. Where's the scene selector here? Scenes. So why do I only have the right scene? No, that source is scenes. Okay, so main scene. So we have RetroTink there, and then stupid webcam there. So we need to adjust the right one to use the other. Actually, I need to go back over to left. I need to see if this is using the Pro or the Plus. This is using the Plus. So I need to switch to here, switch to that, switch to the Pro. There we go. Okay, now both of these, I did not set up the RetroTink 4K controller software. One moment. Paul Guy, you can't set that in OBS because you have to, it lists it by drop down using USB identifiers, and the USB identifiers already don't work well enough. So essentially it does it by path, but it still doesn't work. It's very, very frustrating. This is not a laptop webcam. This is a Linux USB V4L device problem. Very, very specifically. I have the exact same issue with the DataPath Vision RGB. Is it Vision RGB? Vision HD 4. That's what it is. I almost regret buying it, actually, because it's such a pain in the butt. It's almost useless. Constantly changing the thing. RT 4K dash port 5005. Okay. So refresh and refresh. Go back to scenes. Boom. Okay. The left remote, the left image. Yes, it is. Okay, there we go. All right. Hopefully Pipewire stabilizes that. Nope. Pipewire will just make everything worse. I don't like Pipewire, I've decided. All right, let's turn the computer on. Oh, wait, I should enable the proper profiles. I don't know which one's getting which. Let's turn the computer on so we can see how it boots. On. I need to go blow my nose. One moment. Oh, gosh. I didn't mean to beep you. The software is bad. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. That's my fault. Okay. All right. Left remote. This. I think I have these backwards. Wait, what? Are they both controlling? I know what I did wrong. Hold on. Kill this. Dash S. Okay, I need history. Grep RT 4K. I'm feeling lazy. I just want to copy paste. Copy paste. Go. Said go. Okay. Yeah, why would I expect to be able to right click in OBS? Oh wait, that worked? What? Wait, huh? I've never seen that before. It's weird. Okay. That's the wrong one. That's still the wrong one. Okay. Hold on. This is weird. So I am right clicking, okay? Nothing shows up. If I right click over here and then right click over there, that's the trick. Oh my gosh. I'm going to try and keep that in mind. It won't work, but I will try to keep that in mind. Why are these both opening the same Hold on, I have an idea. Let me just restart OBS. I don't know if anyone else has ever experienced that right-click issue with OBS. I only have it all the time. Okay, now it's killing me. I know what the problem is. I need this to be 0. There we go. Okay. Jeez. Okay. So this one, I'm gonna load the profile for, and you guys can see this, not there as OBS. I didn't have time to set all this up. My apologies. Here we go. Video capture of thing do stuff. Computer SMC-70. Boom. Okay. And now we go to the other one. We configure this. The input selection is already correct, but because the scenes are screwy, one moment. Copy. Paste. Okay. And then cut. Paste. Excuse me. Oh, gosh. Pay no attention to what's going on. You know what? Nothing's working out well here. Why is this so squished? You know what? There. Whatever. I don't care. Anyway, it's working. Sure. There's stuff, but none of this runs. Okay. So, let's make a disk. I'm going to shut this off. Boop. And now, I'm going to close this. And I'm going to bring over this. Okay. So, I have here Sony SMC nonsense. And we have this and some other stuff. So, let's take a look at how we can do this. So we have WordStar 3.0, which is downloaded from WinWorld. I also own this on an 8-inch disc, but that's like a whole other problem. I would like to avoid that. So we'll see what we can do, because we don't have to decode the 8-inch disc. This is going to go a lot faster. We'll see how this works. Okay. So let me start from the beginning here. I'm going to delete this and this. Okay. These are the files from Cathode Ray Dude's upload on archive.org. Okay. So we have disk 1. I'm going to delete. Oh, wait, that's the second copy. We have disk 1 and we have disk 2. They're in IMD format. Okay. So I can now right click this and I can use under actions. I can. You ever just
19 raiders from Belgium have joined. End of line.
Ben and Raiders, hello and welcome. And that's excellent. Hellecroft, thank you. File, no, file, this. Just data. But why? Properties, details, type plain text document. I don't think so. Is it MIME type? Is it a dedicated command? MIME type S70D1. Text plain. Dude, what? Why is this text plain? Somehow that never came up in my testing. Local share. Okay, here's the behind the scenes of how this is gonna work. Service menus. Yay, service menus. Also, get remote get URL origin. Is this one? Why is this still GitHub? hold on. So I need to add to this that. Boom. Problem solved. Okay. So what I can now do is right-click this. I can go to Actions. I can go to CPM Image Tools. And I can go to Sony SMC, Convert IMG. And boom, we have a file. So in this, which is a KDE service menu entry, that is a plain text file. And now all of this is going to show up for all plain text files. I have a bunch of commands that are related to doing stuff with CPM tools. So what I can do with this now, because this is an IMG, is we can go back to the CPM tools and then we can extract all of the files from it. Boom. So these are all of the files.
They've subscribed for 51 months and says Lurk King 2000. End of line.
It's Carve. Thank you for the tier 1 sub and for, holy moly, 51 months. I appreciate that. So yes, these are all the files. So like, here's the README that was on the disk. Truly fantastic. But what we can do with this is we can make a new disk. So this is WordStar. So this is the zip file. This is from WinWorld. So we have install.com and all this fun stuff for setting up WordStar. And then we have customizer and whatever that thing is. I don't know. I don't think we care about that. But one thing I can do here now is right-click this, and then Actions, and then CPM Image Tools, and I can build a Sony SMC-70 disk. So what this does is it takes a bare SMC-70 image file that I have here that has some minor image file or boot files in it. So if I go to list on that, we can see what files are in there, and there is nothing because this just has the BIOS shim on the disk essentially to boot. So it's the maximum amount of raw disk space that we can get. So that gives us this, which should be an SMC format compatible CPM file system in SMC-70 setup, whatever, CPM 2.2, this should work, all right? And it already has the BIOS prefixed to the start of the disk. So if I list this using the CPM tools, boom, we can see nothing. Aren't live demos the best? What if we list this? Why has that got files? The other one doesn't. It's definitely one of those days. Okay, so that's what it should look like. So the list tool works, which tells me that the image building probably isn't. But why? Imhex. Oh, I wonder how well this is going to work at 200% scale on a 1080p display. Let's find out. I'm going to guess poorly. Okay. So essentially we're looking for proof of existence of WordStar. All right, BIOS, ASM backup. Nope, no WordStar. That's IPCOM. Yeah, it's not looking great. Okay, why didn't it copy the files? Ugh. Okay, did I just hear a beep somewhere? I don't think I did, other than my phone. Okay. Remember interleave? It's already set up. We'll go ahead and close this. No, I don't want to save. So under here, I have the disk def for CPM tools. So we have the SKU here that is already defined at the system level because you can't load that independently. Word star's a myth, it can't hurt you. Yeah. Well, Ben, hold on. Let's just do it direct. CPMLS. We'll just do this. Dash F SMC-70, and then dash U for the image file because having it be anything else would make too much sense. And there ain't squat in there. Huh. Now it should be in there, Ben. I don't know why it's not. I have a problem with thing. So CPM CP, okay. Image file is defined with T because anything else would make too much sense. We're gonna copy WS install folder install.com to user 0 illegal option dash T. Oh, because that's still CPM CP or LS. CP, boom, okay. So now if we do CPM LS, now install.com is on there. Okay, let's see what I did wrong. So build. All right, for file, okay, we copy the file, that's correct. Then we CPM CP format F T. Was T correct? T was correct. And then actual file. And then to here. Okay. Dude, I swear this worked. Hold on. Let me try this way. So here are all the files there. I'm going to delete these. Then I'm going to make the thing with this. Build. Then I'm going to list this. That did not work. I want to scream. That worked before. All right, fine. Okay. Let's run the command locally, I guess. So CPM CP-F SMC-70-T S70 D1.img, and then we do S70 D1 dash or slash star to 0. And then I will delete this and then relist it, which this is just CPMLS. List. That worked. Why did that work? Perhaps I should do that. CPM build. CPM list. If it's not 0, okay, that worked. Ah, I was missing the quotes. Okay. Git commit -am make do work now better. Ha! Train on that. Copilot, because I haven't changed the repository to my private server yet. Okay, so now we can go back to WordStar, and then we can delete these, and then I can build a thing here, and then I can list it out. No, I didn't want to convert it, but that's fine, whatever. And then list it out. And now we can see we have our WordStar files. Yay, WordStar. Woo! All right. So let's take one of the miscellaneous double density discs that I have here. Let's grab just a random blue one, because that makes me happy to see a fun color floppy. We'll rip this to just raw flux at first. Just so that I know I'm not clobbering anything. Blank, backup, 1, then GW, read, drive a track 00.0.raw, go. All right, and then we'll wipe this and put the SMC disk on there. Blue better bits, exactly. Edlin, no, that'll be tomorrow. All right. In theory, it should be possible to get WordStar running on this, I believe. We just have to use the IBM terminal. I'm putting the Tetris disk in drive B in case it wants a B disk to copy the file to. I don't remember exactly how it works. Close the remote desktop interface, not waste as much data. Return, have we broken it yet? Nope, I fixed it. It wasn't quite a semicolon, but it was pretty close. We're backing up a disk now so that we can overwrite it with our WordStar disk, and then we're going to try running real software on the SMC-70 for the first time. It will apparently always be WordStar that is the real software that I run, because it's the only one that I know of that has actual terminal configuration options. Were we running fake software before? The only software we were running before was the Sony video titler software, which is bespoke to the computer. So it's not really CPM software so much as it is SMC-70 software. So I want to run real SMC-70, no, real CPM software. Sorry. At least WordStar supports the IBM terminal. Exactly, yes. Goes in chat. Yeah, well, so I looked over that. I think we found in the manual or... No. Actually, I can show you exactly where it says it. Hold on. Before we continue, here, README, Control-F, IBM. No, one of these, it says it. Hold on. One of these says what it emulates. Where is it? Is it one of these ones? README.txt, no. Files, no. SMC-70 CPM, sample.txt. I think this is it. Okay. Control-F, IBM. Here we go. IBM 3101 type screen control. This is a Sony document that came on one of the floppies. All right. And what CPU is it? It's Z80 with 64K. It says right there. So the IBM 3101 is the terminal emulation mode that it supports. So there we go. That's how I know what it is. So we're going to be setting WordStar to emulate this. Now, the reason this matters is you'll have different escape codes, essentially, that are sent through the internal serial buffer. So you know how everyone's like, wow, Steve Wozniak made the Apple II so smart because he basically integrated a terminal and a computer all into one machine. Well, that's how like a lot of these work. I don't know that the Apple II was necessarily first, maybe it was, but a lot of these machines use that architecture after at least. So every CP/M computer does. So internally, the keyboard and the video output are essentially part of a terminal system that connects to the CP/M internal structure. So there will be escape codes that get sent from the keyboard to CP/M, and then that CP/M interprets from the software to display on the internal video buffer. So it emulates the IBM 3101 to be able to do all of that. So we need software. Apple I? I guess it was the Apple I. That's a little slightly more different, yeah. But anyway, same thing. A lot of CP/M machines use that architecture. So that's what we're looking at here. So now that we have a backup of that disk, we're going to go ahead and do action grease weasel simple, and we're going to not be able to do any of that. I never thought about needing to be able to write this. So one moment, let me make a additional entry for writing a disk image, because I did not think about that. CP/M write SMC-70. Oop. Okay. And then for files do, sure. I mean, you shouldn't try and write multiple, but whatever. GW write. We'll just do IMG here for IMG in write format drive a format SMC-70, but then we need to give it the path to, oh gosh, hold on, just copy this whole thing. Yeah, then we'll change this right.
Avio is subscribed at tier 1.
Okay, drive
they
A.
Subscribed for 12 months. And says, cheers, Shelby. Here is the 1 year. End of line.
Oh boy, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 12 months. A whole year. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. Right drive A. Do just, boom. That should work. Okay. Right? Wait, why is there a there? That should work. Okay, once it starts writing, I'll go ahead and commit that. Action, CP/M tools, build. No, we don't want it to be called build. Hold on. Right. Okay. Boom. HP 125 was like 1982, though. That's a lot later. No, I'm thinking of a different machine. I think. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I'm probably wrong about that date. Okay, here we go. And writing. Floppy is being converted to Sony CP/M doohickey majigger. Okay. Change text to do the thing it was supposed to do, but wasn't doing. Git push. There we go. Come for the tangents, stay for the best Git messages of all time. Okay. Go ahead, roll technical this evening. Exactly. Now, the downside to the way that I'm doing this is that we can't actually see when the what the progress is of the writing, but it doesn't really matter because it has just finished. So I'm going to pop the disk over into the machine. That was just the way to get the disk down to the level of the computer faster than normal. See, that was intentional. All right, let's turn it on and see what happens. Okay, why is that all weird looking? abios.com missing, can't boot. Oh, okay. I trimmed back the base level image a little much, it seems. So let's let's fix that. All right, let's close that. Okay, so we need that's very interesting for CPM2 because it's acting like CPM3 where it needs the CCP file thing. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna be unbelievably lazy. I'm gonna delete everything here. The only thing that's gonna be left is bios.com, and then I'm just gonna make an image that is this. Actions, CPM tools, build. Okay, so now we have this, which is just the bios.com file. Okay, but now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to replace my base CPM image with this file, and then I will rebuild the other image, which means that it will copy this and then use that as my starter disk for other stuff. In theory, I could not want that file on there, but then the disk wouldn't be bootable, and I think it makes sense to just make every disk bootable. Like,
Koraku says CHGER100.0. You can't be unbelievably lazy. To a few of us, it's totally believable. End of line.
Thank you for the 100 bits. Okay, let's list, make sure it's got bootcom. All right, bioscom, that's it. All right, and now we can write it. And actions. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should do. I'm gonna go buzz it first. I guess I can do it here. Oh gosh. Just to make sure it'll be more likely to work. Okay, action. CPM image tools. Right. Boom. All right, there it goes. Or CPM2 doesn't actually have sort of bios, CCP in files or single load from system tracks. Okay. While that's going, git commit cache am add thing that was not added in the previous times I added things. Git push. It'd be really smart if I just, you know, change it over to my own Git server so I can make descriptive and meaningful commit messages. So let's just go ahead and continue. Okay, I finished writing that file. Let me grab that. Yoink. Boom. And then boom. Why would I amend, Ben? Commits are free. Just use them. Let them be wild. Doesn't it look better if you have more commits in your repo? That means you're a professional, right? The more you commit code and the more lines you add, the better a developer you are. Isn't that how it works? All right, let's turn this thing on. Let's see what it does now. What files are on 0 ohms image? You're trying to line me up. Why is this not working? Now I'm annoyed. One moment. I need a flash drive. Oh, okay. Over on the other computer, I'm doing things, and the things are very unimportant. Don't worry. You're not really missing a lot. I'm just grabbing... Why is that file gone? I don't like it when files disappear. I prefer them to stay where they were. That's not what I want. I want this? No. Under downloads, it's SMC 70 discs, and then we got can I tell Firefox re-download this? Copy download link. Trust me, bro, I have the rights to download this file. F403 forbidden. Hold on one moment. Container tab, work. And then paste. Google and me aren't getting along over here. Hold on a moment. Where did I put this file? Okay. So I see the command where I wrote the hitchhiker disk, but I don't know where I put the hitchhiker disk. It was called S70 hitch. Okay, did I just leave that in the root of my downloads folder? Let's see. I did, okay, but it was called V2, and I don't see that one there. But the other one did actually boot, so we'll just try that. Okay, there we go. Thankfully, before stream, I was smart and I set up a thing that I have never actually used with my laptop, but I was like, you know, in theory, this should work, and then it did, which was cool. And I'm going to tell you all what it is, and you're going to be like, duh, that worked. What are you, stupid? But I've never used it before. I have a USB hub. Ooh. And I've never used it with the laptop because I only ever use it with my phone. But it does, in fact, work with the laptop. So I just need to get the hitchhiker file, yoink, out of there. And we'll look at what is on this. See what was deemed the minimum file set to work here. Okay, so we got BIOS, and then that's it. What? Yeah, Ben, you might be right, and me writing the bios.com file to it after the fact may not work. So let's try something different. SMC-70 discs. Okay. Let's start from scratch. Take this. Nah, I feel lazy. Screw that. Actions. Convert IMG. Okay, we're going to take this and we're going to do build blank paste. Okay, and now let's just list this. I think it was Veza in story, but let's just make sure. List. Boom. Story.dat, Veza.com. Okay, so I'm going to do. No, that's what I want. CPM RM, and then what's the thing? What's disk? Well, -u image. Okay. CPM RM -f SMC-70 -u s70.hitch.img, and then we're going to remove story.dat. Boom. And then we're going to remove Veza.com. Boom. I bet I know what it is, Ben. I know what it is. I know what I just broke. I know exactly what I broke. I think I just tried to merge poorly two different versions of the CPM 2.2 release. Because remember, the CRD files are release 1.2, and ZZXIO was able to give us version 2.0, release 2.0. So I bet I just mixed up those files because I think I tried to be smart and use release 2.0 for this, but I just put bios.com from 1.2 on there instead. So in theory, this will work, but this will give us CPM release 1.2, which we don't want to base this on. But for now, it doesn't matter. We'll just do this and then write the WordStar disk. But then, while WordStar maybe works or not, I don't know. We'll find out in a moment. We'll switch over to the release 2.0. SMC-70 is so weird. Oh my God. Build. And then write. Right. To start using CPM 3? Well, when we find a copy of it. Actually, that's one annoying thing. So the Jonos, we only have a copy of CPM 3. I believe in theory there should be a copy of CPM 2.2 for it, but no known examples exist. Yeah, Ben, I'm pretty sure that's what just happened. Because I do believe that I got, yes, this for my base image. I am pretty sure that's what I did the base image with. So we'll take this and then we'll convert that into only the BIOS COM. All right, just finished writing. Let's swap back over to this and then turn the machine on. Beep. And drum roll, please. Hey, crazy. When you have all the correct files, it works. All right. All right, let's go with this. Okay, so we're going to run install. Yes, the capture is all screwy. I've decided I don't care. Huh? Type example.txt. I'm pretty sure that's long enough that we know the data order is correct. Huh. Wow, it's a big file. You wrap it up now, WordStar. I know you guys like writing. Okay. New Ethernet GPIP adapter. I did not install. Maybe the first time, you know, it just didn't push hard enough, and now it'll work. Well, yeah, Snow, that's the reason we're trying this, is because I know for a fact that WordStar 3 has the correct terminal emulation mode. Okay. Why does it say MPM? WordStar now more. I don't think that matters. Not enough memory, CPM incompatibility. So having a CPM boot disk, stat install. We could try we could try running this from drive B and boot more normal disk. It would be really cool is if the reset button wasn't recessed so much that it is literally impossible to touch it without a tool. Like, you have to have something. I think they expect you to have a pen or something to poke this with. It's very annoying. Like, I don't even think, no, a disc corner can't even reach it. You must have a poking implement. Stat will tell you how big the file is. Okay. Right. B. If only reboot.com. That doesn't work when it's broken. Install. Just in case maybe it's hard-coded to only work from drive B. Right. Stat install.com. Like some sort of Pokerator? Ain't no way, no how I'm using Pokerator. That would be way too sharp. I can tell you for sure that it was done with a pen, because I can see the way you would hold it with the right hand at the 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock position on the red dot. There are black marks like it was poked with a pen. A stat install.com. This is where we slowly drive Ben insane. I'm just gonna go ahead and preemptively start prepping a second disc so we can rewrite that more complete release of CPM 2.1.
SMC-70G 100. What do you mean, drive? He streams. Sanity is not a requirement. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. That's a very blink looking floppy. How many discs will die today? I think 0. I believe this collection of floppies are not part of the bad set. If I were a tier 2 subscriber. Ugh. Get rid of that. I don't need that anymore. Dude, the KDE Places menu, so excellent. Oh my gosh, I love having this. Why do I have this and this? I don't need that. I don't need home either. Move that. Why is that one? One's like permanent, but then this one isn't. Move this, and then move this to the top. Archiving one, super handy to have. Nextcloud. To get one, I use probably the most. Oh man, dude, the KDE Places one should just come with this one. The file system root, that one's the best. Ugh. I need faster floppy drives. Maybe I should write like a dedicated little jingle that plays for exactly the duration of time it takes for Grease Weasel to read a 3.5-inch floppy drive, and then a different one for writing a 3.5-inch floppy drive disk. Okay. That's that one. Now we write this one. I'll go ahead and buzz this first. You're running with Revs 5? It's whatever default is. I didn't change it. I think that's 3. Action, CPM, right. Track times look way too high for 3. Well, it's again, it's whatever the default is. I don't know. I thought it was 3. Maybe it's 5. I got no clue. I swear
TROFECY 90S subscribed at tier 1. They've subscribed for 20 months. And says I did not notice how long it's been : end of line.
Prophecy, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 20 whole months. Oh my gosh. That's this many 20 months. I appreciate that. Don't yawn, dumping paper tapes is boring enough. Okay. Here we go, booting the machine again. Now we'll see if we have a stat. I don't know why it matters. Hold on. This. Boom. Go. Computer, activate. I think something's wrong here. Hold on, let me try this. GW right. Hold on. I think it's still my clipboard. I want all of that, drive A, boom. And then I want all of that plus drive A, and then there we go. CPM 22 R 21 dot. We'll do the IMD just so that I like start with the most basic thing. Ah, okay. I believe we can do terminal equal true, 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 true here, and then it will actually show it. Actions, right? No. How do we make it show the terminal? I think I do that for the standard grease diesel one. Hold on. GW simple, open with Kate. No, I don't. Oh, you put it up here. There we go. The reason is because now when I run this, there we go. Now it pops open the terminal and I'll be able to see that it fails. And you joke, Yakawake used to be my go-to Linux terminal thing. I forget exactly why I stopped using it. Okay, there we go. Now we can see that it fails. I'm fine with it going away. All right, well, skip that disk. Go Go on to the next one, I suppose. This now begs the question of, did the WordStar disk image actually write successfully? So, perhaps we should just retry that when we find a good disk. You know, Ben, I think it was streaming that trained me to stop using it, because I have this camera view in the upper left, and that would mean that the terminal would show up on the left side, and then it would be blocked. I suspect if we went back to earlier parts of the streaming that I'd used it, and then I realized it was being blocked all the time, and I had to stop. I bet that's why I stopped using it. Because I used to love having a permanent terminal running all the time. I don't think I used the in-window terminal as much when I did that, though. So that might have been part of my conversion away from that as well. Because this is just like, oh my gosh, it's so good just having terminal context in the GUI directory. Offset your desktop, not unrelated chat face cam. Yeah, I can see that, but then at least when I'm not doing it with my laptop like this, because we have GUI scale 200 here. Or 150, I forget exactly which. This is really easy to read. I could easily squish this down, but because it's going through the ATEM, that would be a pain in the butt. But if I were not doing that, I could see squishing this to not be under the camera. But for the normal stuff where I'm doing 1080p with 96 DPI scaling, I wouldn't want to make the text any smaller. Because I physically do not want it to be bigger on the monitor and not be able to read as much. Lots of people prefer different setups. I prefer having the dead zone. Wish Dolphin had multiple tabs for window. Right click, open in tab, boom. I don't know what else tabbing you would want. You can just double click there, tab, middle click, close, boom, tabs. Gold bars for a box of 10 factory floppies. No kidding. Looks like it's $20 to $30 on eBay to get a sealed box of double density discs. Multiple terminal tabs. Oh. That's a little more unique. Split view? I didn't even know that was a thing. Wait, what did I just do? Closed session. I don't know what I'm doing. That's session 3. Maximize turn. I have no idea what this is. I did not know this was a thing. Hold on, wait a minute. Split view doesn't follow different. No, that went in that one. If I click over here, it follows in that one. I don't like this. Isn't it weird? Close. Close session. Okay, well, that just fully closed all of it. There might be something. I don't know. I need to learn more about this split view. That's weird. I would just run BYOBU, but that's not sure KDE devs know this either. So you joke about that, but I swear they don't know how the service menus work. There is almost zero documentation about how the service menus that I'm using due to this right-click stuff. There's almost nothing for how to actually set those up properly. You have to find the magic letter shortcut things like this for how to parse the way that data is sent into the command. You have to find this in reference to somewhere else for like how regular desktop files work, because these are effectively exactly the same as the user share applications desktop shortcuts, but they add the context menu stuff instead. It's really weird. It's very poorly documented in my opinion. Anyway, let's try and write this again, I suppose. And if this works and boots and is all happy and whatnot, then we'll try writing the WordStar one. Sources documentation approach. Yeah, exactly. Dolphin split view and embedded terminal is just a mess. I will very much disagree with that. Dolphin split view is perfectly fine as long as you understand when you click close, it's going to close the one that you're in, not the one that you're not in. I think that's the least intuitive thing. Close always closes the one that you have selected. Everything else about it, totally fine. I don't know what else you would want out of this. Terminal, I don't like how it follows that and pollutes the terminal with that stuff. At least they're smart enough. They do put a space in front of that so it doesn't actually show up in your bash history. But, yeah. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Now I don't see. I didn't. Oh. Let's just find out if it boots. I wasn't paying attention if it wrote correctly or not. I guess I was too busy screwing around with the terminal. Hey, do we have stat? Or has Ben imagining things? There is, in fact, a stat. Okay, stat b install.com. Okay, it is 34,000 bytes. The size it actually should be is 32,000. Oh, it's clearly not a good transfer. It invented a bunch of bytes. We'll try writing this, the WordStar stuff again on the one that just booted correctly here, and we'll actually watch it this time to make sure that it looks correct, and then we'll see. Okay, CPM tools, right. Okay, we're watching to make sure that this doesn't error out. It could take offense, you know. Yeah, it's more that this is a pretty weird release of CPM. I would not have been surprised if it did not have some of the standard files on it. Okay, well, we're getting some failures already. That's not a great sign. Needs microwave ding? I think it needs typewriter end of line ding. I wasn't watching, but I think it's fine. Add support for dash GUI to the script. Set at the pop-up, ends a message box with pass fail. There should be a command line utility for that. That actually would be totally viable. I could look into that. I kind of like that idea. So I have a different one that I do that with. I forget exactly which one. Where it does something destructive and it pops up to make sure that you actually want to do that. And then it won't, yeah, we'll continue after you do that. Ooh, that sounded weird. Oh, I see what happened. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Dir install. Machine have the kanji ROMs? No. This is a true North American model. You know, when I say true North American, I mean Canada. So it'd more likely have French ROMs. Should the composite video be black and white? That's a good question. We're gonna ignore that for now. Why no work? Let me make sure this isn't like CPM like 8088 or 68K or something. Why is it not working? I mean, the disc was a little bad, but it was, you know, fine. Back. I don't even remember making that. Zoom original file works fine. So here's the thing, Dutch Black Cat. We are trying to essentially port a copy of WordStar from a different version of CPM to work on the SMC-70. So there is no working original to base it off of. In theory, I have files. You know, actually, we don't actually know that the WinWorld copy of WordStar 3.0 is good. We do know that my 8-inch disc copy is good, though. But we would have to actually extract the files, which is going to be annoying. Let's go have a look at my workstation and see if I have a disk definition already made over there for it. I think I do. I think we'll have an IBM 3470 CPM 80 something disk def. Let's just make sure. Unless I've updated or something and now it's gone. You know what? It might be my GW Tools folder. Let's go look at that real quick. Wow, it's so bad. It's not even here. I haven't updated it since this. Okay, so CPM 3470, which will have a disk def here. Probably. Actually, it shouldn't need one because this should be like the most standard one ever. Yeah. Okay. So, archive. Do I not have a copy of the S100 discs on here still? Floppy Madness. No. Not Magranova. Okay, I'll just re-download it from my server really quick. Is there some way of networking? Laplink? No. It's not MS-DOS. I mean, in theory, we could probably, but this, trust me when I say this is the easier way. More specifically, once this is working, this is going to be the more robust way. X modem, but we need a receiver. That's the thing. Like I don't want to say for certain there is not a Kermit receiver for CPM. There may be. I don't know. X modem I feel is a little more likely, but it's definitely not built in. Hold on, these files are stored really weirdly right now, so I'm just trying to find it. Definitely Kermit, but you need to get it on there first. Yeah, that's the other problem, is that it's a chicken and the egg solution or situation. S100. Okay. WordStar. V3. Okay, I found my copy of WordStar. Let's go ahead and grab that. 96 whole megabytes. Oh no. Ugh. Oh, that sounds like work, Ben. I'd rather do this. Okay, so let's go with it's downloads. Nope, downloads. SMC-70s where I'm kind of doing all this. SMC-70. Put WordStar into here. Boop. All right, so these are my files for WordStar. Track here. So these are the Grease Weasel raw tracks. And then I don't even have like a decoded image. So there we go. Actual, real, physical copy of WordStar. I got it somewhere over there. I'm not getting up for grabbing it. I also have this, which is a different file, whatever the customization notes thing is. I don't care about that. I don't think we need that. So for this, we need, actually, let's do this. GW info. GW help. Is that the one that prints all the formats? GW convert help -H. There we go. We do not have a 3470 here. Nothing CPM like up there. Okay, I might need disk def from this. That's CPM tools disk def. No, it's not. Where's the 3471? Did they not call it 3470? Was it renamed or something? You've seen an 8-bit micro with 3.5 inch? Well, I mean, being the third machine ever to ship with it, I feel like it's not too surprising. But being the company that made it should be less surprising. Look at this. What format was I using here? Disk def IBM 3470. Did I make this? Where is this file? $34.7. I feel like I'm going crazy. Why does this not exist? I must have written it somewhere. Okay, here's the problem. I don't remember what the 3470 track layout is. So let's completely re-engineer it from scratch. Yay. Okay. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Let's do it the dumbest possible way. How about that? Git pull. Okay. CPM 3470. For some reason, the Grease Weasel people don't really want to make like a generic CPM grouping, it seems. So, like, I feel like if I submitted a CompuPro section, they would accept that, but it would be identical to the MSI. Why does this need merged? Sure, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Git push, whatever. Why? I hate GitHub. Git log. This is the only thing I changed. Right. Git commit dash am fast forward. You know what? Merge in GitHub changes. Git push. We'll just switch over to using the private Git repo over there. I don't think I have any other choice. Okay. So here's my thought process, which is obviously the smartest thing of all time. We're just going to remake this over here, and we're going to make the different tools that we need for working with the CPM stuff over on with the other thing that does brain stuck in neutral. Coffee's over there. I want to make the right click menu option for converting WordStar. So let's start out by opening, there's so many steps to this. The track raw files in HXC so that we can look at what the disk structure is. I'm sure I could look up what, that's right, it's not in there. It's compiled from the source over here. HXC floppy emulator. Okay, boom. Okay, track analyzer. Boom, that's a lot of sectors. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we got 77 tracks. There was 77 real tracks. Yep, 77 real tracks. Okay, so we're gonna do IBM 3470. Okay, so we got 77 real tracks. I'm pretty sure these are all FM. Yeah, all FM. Okay. Sector starts with 1. Interleave of 1. Okay. So heads 1. That's correct. Okay. So how many sectors? 26. That's a number that definitely makes sense. Okay. 26 sectors. And then bytes per sector is 128. All right. Yeah, I usually don't. That's a CPM tools. Well, actually, yeah, I probably want that, huh? Is in one of my desktops. So the CPM tools might have that in the standard one. We'll look at that in a moment. Matter of fact, we'll look at that right now. Sudo vim, etc., CPM tools, and disk defs. That's the only file in there. I love it. Password. Okay. So 3470. No, they don't have it. Okay. Let's see what they've got. IBM 3470 right there. Okay, perfect. So they already have that. That's the first format in it, actually. So that makes sense. We'll just go with that. That's probably correct. Okay. So we can save this. 3740? Wait, what? I'm probably wrong. It's probably 3740. 3470 is just more fun to say. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Okay. So check right there, interleave one, sectors, dyslexia. Shh, no. Fun phonetics, not dyslexia. Okay, I'm just gonna grab this real quick, and then we'll go over here, back to this. This is the correct one, CPM tools. Okay, so we take all of this, and then this is one of those really weird times where I learned something about Linux, okay, and I've talked about this before. And immediately I was like, oh, actually, that's kind of awesome. And I can understand why it is non-intuitive for people. And it is driving people some people nuts who are trying to switch to Linux, okay? And that is middle click paste. Now, what I did was select this, which adds it to like a secondary clipboard. And then you can middle click to paste this. Why did I want to do that way? Because in my real clipboard, all right, I have the IBM 3740 disk format for the CPM tools, because throughout here, I want to select this and then paste over that. Now, I didn't have to change what I was doing to go back and reselect and recopy that. KDE has disabled middle select paste by default. Unless that was very new, no, because I have not enabled it here. Just say I'm glad you can disable that on KDE now. See, I am confused by that. I've never wanted to middle click scroll in a text document, which is like the only place that I would do it. And in Firefox, it just does it. Like, the hardware scroll is already in there. I don't need it. So it's fine. 8 doesn't have find or replace. It does. It's right there. I could do that. But I would have to select just the examples where I have CPM LS and not the ones where I have this. That's a little different. Whether you detest middle click scroll and it annoys me every time I trigger it accidentally. No. I love middle click scroll. I just don't want it in a text editor. Middle click paste with 2 clipboards is hot. Does Windows 11 do it too? No, only Unixy like operating systems do. Easiac, you might be the only person I've said I want that on Windows. It's mostly Windows users fleeing over to Linux and then complaining that exists. You might be the only Windows user who wants that. Okay, IBM 3740 apparently. IMB, I type, do good at type, I do, yes. Okay, paste. Okay, and then up here, I'm gonna be super duper lazy. Boop. And then it ends with right, and that back. Select all that. Okay, so now I'm gonna do it where I do the replace, because I have a section selected here. So what I can do is that, and then this, and then replace all, and it did it everywhere, including the unselected areas. Never mind. I don't like you, Kate. You're annoying. Bad. Okay. SMC-70. 70, SMC. This part's really annoying about these context menus. SMC-70. Also, I don't know if you can have sub menus. That would be sweet, because I'd just make a SMC-70 sub menu, but man, whatever. Way too many close calls with accidentally pasting passwords and other sensitive information in plain text chats find it useful. I can't say I've ever encountered that. Really grody, horrible hack on Windows involving injecting message interception hooks into every process. Sticky note in the KDE panel or desktop? You mean like this? Oh, I thought it would still do that. Maybe if I just paste. File name, blah, 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 blah. Wait, is it actually going to do it? I may have disabled that. I swear it did it. I'm surprised it doesn't do that. I think I disabled that. middle click religiously for scrolling, closing tabs in Firefox. I mean, I do it all the time in Firefox too. I don't really seem to have that problem with the text box accidentally getting things I don't want it to. Okay, GW, convert, this def, format, IBM.3740, boop, and then boop. Okay. Now the fun thing is that in theory, if I fix this, IBM 3740, and then boop, 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 and then doot, okay. And then we have a problem because I don't think I can do it to this. Because this is like a weird MIME type. Ooh. All right. We're going to grab GW, convert all of this, and then we'll just take in the raw track there. Okay, and then WordStar, that's not the correct thing. And then WordStar track 00.raw. Oh, okay. File.img. There we go. Is it dot or dash? Dash for CPM tools, dot for GW. Because what is life if not more fun with variety? Okay, so now we can do right-click, action, CPM tools. Oh, I am so happy that it interleaved those for some reason. How delightful. Okay, this might be the first time I have ever understood how the ordering is done for these menus. I actually did not know. I think I do now. So if I go up here and I take these and I put 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then I do 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then I do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then I save it. Now I think they will be ordered correctly. Actions, CPM tools. Hey, I actually learned a thing today. I had no idea how those were ordered. Okay, that is going to be tremendously helpful in the future. So let's go ahead and list the files that are in this. That actually has files. Excellent. Perfect. Okay, we're doing good. I think we could now, let's do this. ws3.img. So let's extract the files. CPM tools, IBM, extract. There's our files. Okay. So I think we can do this now. Let me grab the flash drive. Let's sneakernet the files over and write it. We can't do that because, well, we can. Hold on. Oh gosh, my leg fell asleep. Ah. Ugh. Ugh. All right. What I need to do is I need to go back to this and get diff. I think I have only, no, get status. I think I've only changed files. I haven't added any files because I don't have a base boot disk for the 3470. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to get rid of the build one because for the 3470, it's going to be too unique. I might do per system ones, but like a generic build option for that doesn't work. Because the same exact disk format could work for the Compy Pro 86, for the MSI 8080, for the Altair 8800. It's like, I don't have the Altair, but just as an example, for many machines, they could all be the same. So. Which means git commit -am add support for generic CPM 2.2 IBM 3740 disk images. Hey, what do you know? My own Git server gets a real commit message. Okay. Now we're just going to copy the files from this over to the flash drive so that I can write it on the 3.5-inch drive that I have over there. You know what? I'll actually just copy this whole thing. Why not? Ponders the Altair example suspiciously. So, fun story. I actually did try to buy an Altair 8800. I bought it on Mercari, and that was the first and last time I ever bought something on Mercari because I was sent a Pokemon card. And then I tried to get my money back, and I returned the Pokemon card only for the return address to be in a completely different state than the send address. It was then sent back as non-deliverable, and I think they were hoping that it would take long enough for that to happen that the return period would like fail out on Mercari, but it didn't, and I was able to get all of my money back. And I still have the Pokemon card, which turns out to also be fake. Not even a rare Pokemon card. I mean, in theory, it would have been, but it was fake. So, all around, terrible experience, never using Mercari again. I don't remember Mercari being particularly easy to persuade into giving me my money back either, so, yeah. Yeah, that's what it felt like. Okay, so back over to here. We've got flash drive. You want to show up here, please? Did I report the seller? They closed their account. I think the seller closed their own account is what it was, because they were trying to dodge it. Waiting for the flash drive to show up. It's taking its time. Flash drive, you wanna work? Wait a minute, is the port bad on it? Did it just die when I pulled it out? I have resoldered this one before already. I think it's fine. Try that again. Oop. Please? Why you know flash drive? And want to get an Altair? Pretty sure for the majority of people, you're better off trying to go for an IMSI. There's a lot more of them. They are not as expensive. They're a little easier to use, and they're not as expensive by like half. And you're getting into the extremely expensive and significant cost machines at that point, where you gotta really, really want it. For some reason, the flash drive just does not want to work here. Let's see. Maybe it's that port. If I plug it into this port, it'll work. If it does, I'll be annoyed. So now I got to plug my keyboard into a different port. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Come on. Don't tell me. Please work, keyboard. I don't want to have to plug it into a different port. Okay, you know what? I'll take it. All right, WordStar. Boom. Okay, hold on. It's copying files. It's a USB 0.5 drive, so give it some time. And that might be, I have no idea what you're talking about, Sanity. We'll see a CPM renaissance anytime soon? No. And I mean that sincerely in that I don't think, why is it 205.3 kilobytes? I don't think, oh, did I ever fix the base image? I don't remember having done that. No, I did. I think CPM is too boring. Sorry, Ben, but like I think it's never going to be a fun
Blair's Pyre subscribed at tier 1.
thing
They've
for people.
subscribed for 53 months, currently on a 46-month streak. And says made it in time to do this, thankfully. End of line.
Blair's Pyre, thank you for the tier 1 sub. And for 53, 48, 53 months. I appreciate that. Thank you. Mentioned expensive twice in the list. Oh, yes, that was intentional to drive home the point of how expensive an Altair 8800 is. Yes. Shouldn't get a Z80 card for your Apple IIgs? I mean, you could. That would be probably one of the cheaper ways to get into it. I'm just telling you, no one's ever going to be like, oh boy, I can't wait to go play CPM. Or, gee, I'm really excited about that new CPM game. But just that's not things you're going to hear. Sorry. All right, right. Oh, you know what would help is if I put a floppy disk in there. Tax software disk. I choose you. Since we're on the topic, you know. Oh, it's the CPM delusions of grandeur. Anyway, I think CPM is technically interesting and surprisingly easy to use, all things considered. I think early on, there were a lot of really passionate enthusiasts for CPM, which is how we have the CPM tools for Linux. And that has made it really pleasant to get into CPM now, but that doesn't solve the fact that CPM is still, for the most part, boring. Just because the software was never really going to be aimed at gaming. And the sad reality is that the only reason people use vintage computers is for video games. Because no one wants to open up, WordStar on this and actually do it. This is just a demonstration of proof of concept that we can actually get software onto here. So, all right, moment of truth. Do my WordStar files work? Install. Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. GOS, you mean the extremely GUI operating system? Why? Why though? Why does it not work? How much RAM? I mean, 64K supposedly. So for the record, we were able to get this to run on the K Pro 4. This exact copy of the software. Not this exact extraction from the disk image. So there is the potential. Let's go ahead and do that. Type example.txt, just to make sure that the byte ordering is correct for this source. That looks right. So yeah. Well, FlareSpire, as far as I'm aware, there's no way to load extensions or anything like that. It should really run install, and then that's how you configure it to actually work. This is a strange one. I wondered, try running WSU, the uninstalled binary. You know what I could do for grins and giggles is dig out the K-Pro 4 wherever it is. I have actually no idea right now. I cannot visualize it anywhere in the office. And try and configure an install for the IBM 3101, and then copy the files back off of that onto here and then try running it. But we do not have time for that today. There's also the Osborne, but that's super deep in storage because, yeah, that thing super sucks to use. K-Pro 4 might be deep in storage as well, but I think I'd be more likely to have kept that here. I'm just not sure offhand. Huh. That's annoying. I'm really surprised it didn't work. This copy of WordStar is very adaptable from my experience. I think we even got it running on the Jonos, didn't we? It must be that the Sony SMC-70 version of CPM is truly very weird. We know that if you have the setup tool, you can configure it to use 8-inch disk drives. I wonder what you can actually do with that. Because so far it doesn't seem to be much. Oh, this is the wrong one. I guess I don't have a copy of the full release. The cool software you got running so far, if we don't count the video titler software that is more about the hardware of the computer, nothing. We haven't gotten anything running. Then I am willing to look into other CPM software that I could run on this, but I would appreciate it if you had like a list of what we could run that you could send me on Discord, like post in tech or something that I could look into. Because I'm not going to be able to get to it today, of course, in 5 minutes. But maybe something lighter than WordStar could actually work, but it's going to need to be configurable for that IBM terminal. Sony Basic is not on the ROM. Supposedly, okay, we haven't actually tried this yet. Let's try this. Supposedly, I should be able to turn it off, flip the switch to off or the boot source, hit the vacuum cleaner and spook myself, then turn it on, and it should boot to the hardware monitor. There we go. that is as close to basic as you can get. So we can get to the system monitor, but there is no basic on ROM. You can get basic off of the CPM disk, but yeah, mine does not have the ROM option installed. WordStar probably really is the best install and go example. That's what I was afraid of. I think I just lucked into that for other stuff. So yeah, that's a problem. Monitor allows entering assembly. It allows you to enter in instructions into registers. But no. Can't do anything with it out of the box? Yeah. I don't think DBase 2 would be. Yeah, we might just be screwed. Well, that might have just gave me the story for the video for the SMC-70. Because, yeah. I mean, that's the weird thing. Sony had a lot of software for this thing. And by a lot, I mean like a couple dozen programs. They were all bespoke to it, though. It wasn't like, here is the Sony version of this program, kind of like we had with the Dot, where there was Volkswriter, so you could have a 80 column or 136 column wide text editor or whatever. I think there was a Lotus 123 or something like that for it that could do fancy stuff with its video mode. It was all weird Sony software that was available. Story of CPM sucks? No, it would be more about the story about how the SMC-70 technically ran CPM, but was too weird. I am actually shocked that somehow this is harder to get software working on than, say, the Jonos. And I think I'm going to have to get the Jonos, like, booting something and running again to demonstrate that. Like, I need to demonstrate that I could make a disk, get software running on the Jonos, and that it works, and then I can do the exact same process on this, and that it doesn't. I think that's going to have to be part of the story. So, Sunday or maybe tomorrow if I don't feel like getting the Deck Writer 2 stuff set up, which I do want to, so we'll see. But, you know, we have all this set up for video capture for this. All right, you know what? Okay. Tomorrow, I'm digging out the Jonos. It's just, by digging out, I mean I just grab it from over there. We get everything set up for the CPM tools things that I've been working with to write Jonos disks so that I can demonstrate that we can write disks for that. And then we go through that process, and then I record demonstrating the ability to write software for that machine, but not this one. And then that's the book closed on the SMC-70 until we can find some other software for it. Because it looks like it needs to be SMC-70 software, not just CPM and IBM 3101 compatible. Or the disk format's compatible. So Freefall in general, the disk formats for any CPM machine are not compatible with any other CPM machine. The one exception is, for the most part, the IBM 3740 8-inch disk format. So that's why in the CPM Tools disk staff, that was kind of generic at the top. Every other machine with 5 1/4 inch drives, Osborne, K-Pro 4, K-Pro 2, all of those things, disk formats are completely different. So if you go and find a CPM release of a program, like say the Infocom Zorks or something like that, you will see that they are listed for not CPM, they are listed for one computer. So for example, the K-Pro 4, they took the single-sided K-Pro 2 disk format, and then they did actually make that compatible with K-Pro 2s by taking the sector count and then wrapping it around the disk so that the disk sectors are contiguous from one side to the other. So it reads kind of like a laser disc, one side and then flips over, and then actually it reads from the outside to in on both sides. But still, they're contiguous from one side to the other to be compatible for stupid machines for the K Pro 2. So yeah, it's a wild west for CPM disk compatibility. Yeah, you technically kind of got Zork running, but not usefully. Yeah, but that goes back to the terminal emulation stuff. Maybe I could look into configuring VESA or whatever modern Zork Infocom interpreter that is, and see if I can get that working with a 3101. But that's kind of going the opposite direction. I don't find it impressive to take an old computer and then write brand new software for it to get it working. Not because it isn't impressive that you can do that, but that it means that that old machine was useless and that there was nothing to run on it, or potentially more likely, like we are in the situation with the SMC-70, where we just can't find that software. It hasn't been preserved. But yeah, anyway, there might be a dumb mode for it for the SMC-70, not that I'm aware of. So, but everyone did eventually settle on a single format. No, IBM made their format, and then everyone copied IBM because IBM can do no wrong until the PS2. Then everyone was like, actually, no thanks. So, although they did copy the disk format for 3.5-inch floppies. So it wasn't that they settled on a single format, it's that they just stole IBM's lunch. Anyway, that will be it for today, and it is outro time. I will try not to beep or silence the stream. It looks like I almost did it. It just had to switch. So when I'm tapping, let me try this. I'm going to do face cam, and then arm cam, and then I'm going to tap this, and then I'm going to tap output control. Is it going to switch? Okay, I know what I need to do now. So on the software here that I use to control the stream, what's happening is that if I touch these that allow me to open and close, it also sends whatever the last button action was. So in that case, it sent arm cam, even though I just switched to this. When I tap output control, I just tapped unblur, so now it'll actually work normally. If I tap arm cam, go back, and then tap the output control close menu, yeah, it resends it. Okay, so I know what I need to fix now. That's mildly a problem, but it's only a problem because I'm dumb and I keep touching the ATEM directly. Anyway, outro. All right. No, it's not OBS, it's my fault. It's my video route software. Alrighty. Tomorrow, yeah, I think tomorrow we'll continue. We'll dig out the Jonos, finish the SMC-70 story, and then Sunday we'll work on the Deck Rider 2. So, because that'll make it so that I can just be done with the SMC-70 and I can start working on that video. And then we can not have the ridiculously complicated video capture setup, because, yeah. Also, you know what? Having the Jonos up and running will be really good for that video, because I need to be able to demonstrate taking a floppy out of one machine, putting it in the other, and having it go, I don't know what that is. Because people are going to ask that question. It's a very fair question, but yeah. All right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this stream. If you did, you may want to follow to be notified when I go live again next. If you want to help support the channel, you can find me on Patreon or get a shirt like this one. That'll be it for now, and I will see you all next time.